Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Hello, everyone. I am Nadia Sahari, your host with the Nadia Sahari Show. Welcome to the show. I have a great guest for you today. But before we start, let me tell you what I'm doing on the show. We all are dreamers. We all have a dream. We have a dream to write a book, to be an actress or an actor, getting a record label, or just being entrepreneurs and getting into business. That is what we all dream about. And life is business, isn't it? I invite guests to my show to help you and to give you the tips, but we learn from each other. So that's why I have guests like I have today. How do they do it? How do they maintain that success? So let's find out, because my guest today is amazing. She is Christine, who was born in Massachusetts, where she grew up as an inspiring dancer. She is now an actress, a producer, a teacher, and a mother. So without further ado, I want to introduce Chrissy Bergeron to the Nadia Sahari Show. Welcome, Chrissy.
Hey, Nadia. Thank you.
Hi. Oh, it's so good
it's
to have you.
It's great to be here.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to have you. It's wonderful. And I read about you, and you are amazing, and you are a miracle. What was it in your childhood that inspired you with your dream? And what was your dream as a child?
Well, my dream as a child was, I grew up kind of in a, working class neighborhood, and there wasn't much to do during the school year. It would snow. We had terrible weather back in Massachusetts. And
yes.
I would go to dance class, and that was the one thing that I really looked forward to, and it inspired me, helped me get out of my shell, and gave me a lot of self-confidence, and I thought I was pretty good at it. So I really aspired to do that, and a lot of the other kids in the neighborhood, they were more into just kind of getting into a little trouble.
Well, that happens, right? There's always that type.
I was always the square peg kind of in the
Yeah, I was kind of too. I would say in the 7th grade, I was a bad girl. I was a bully. I got bullied, and I bullied back. Oh, yes.
Oh, well, survival of the fittest.
That's right. That's right.
And yeah, I think we all have those years.
Oh, yes. So you earned an associate degree in business after working in the corporate world. That is beautiful. You had already been in the arts career.
Yes. What I did was, right from high school, I was told that you got to do business. You should be a secretary or an assistant. You got to go to business school, an accountant. You got to be somebody. And nobody really, none of the kids in my neighborhood were going to college. So I went to the community college, and I really enjoyed it. And I was pretty good at business, more of a people person. So I got some jobs for the government, actually, was my first job. And in offices, I worked for lawyers. I was the assistant, the one in the front, the clerk. But it wasn't fulfilling me. I had a void. I wanted to be more creative, and I had this dance background. So, yeah, I picked up and went to New York, and I said, forget this corporate crap.
So you moved to New York, and there you attended the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. So
yes, I did.
So you continued dancing and performing. So let's talk about that. What happened in New York?
Well, I was performing and doing some off-Broadway stuff. I was auditioning for different, a lot of the cruise ships come in, and they audition for dancers to come out on the cruise ship. So I was doing a lot of that, but I had an injury, a back injury, which it seemed like it got worse and worse, as I was getting older. And I had to stop. And they found out I had spondylolisthesis in my back, which it has to do with when your nerves are kind of not connected the way they should be. So it was in my lower back, which dancing and even walking would just really, really aggravate disease, I guess they'd call it. And so the doctors said, they gave me a brace. I went to chiropractors, and I even took time off off my feet, off dancing, off stage, and didn't really improve. So I got a spinal fusion, and it was very scary. I was in my probably 21. And they said, you could have 50% chance you're going to walk again. You could be in a wheelchair. We don't know. We can't promise. This is, the doctor was excellent. He was at Mass General, and he couldn't promise me, that I'd have a full recovery. So I took the risk because I was in so much pain, And back then there was, it was quite a few years ago. We didn't have a lot of acupuncture or holistic medicine like we do now.
Exactly.
So I really didn't have much choice. So I underwent that, and that took probably a year out of my life.
Is that when you went to get your BA in theater arts? Is it while you were recovering?
Yes. After the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, AMDA, after I went there, I graduated with like a kind of an associate's, like a 2-year, and then I transferred. I worked, for about 2 years after, a year after. So I was probably 21 by the time I had this surgery. And then I came back to Boston, and I kind of recuperated. While I was recuperating, I couldn't sit still. I said, let me go back to school and use these credits, and maybe I can get a bachelor's, because who knows? Maybe I'd want to teach one day. Or Boston, when you grow up in Boston, it's very important to have an education. It's just, frowned upon if you don't. So I said, well, I'm going to be a theater major. It's kind of frowned upon being a theater major too, but so that's what I did, and I ended up getting my bachelor's, and it was really hard for me to just focus on, my classes, because you do have to take all the undergrad. You have to take, the science and the psychology, and I actually got a double major in communications because I was really interested in film. So they didn't have a film major or minor, so I did communications and I did theater, and I was happy. My mom, she couldn't afford to pay for college. She was a single mom, so everything that I kind of pursued, it was either a loan or financial aid or just, working my butt off.
I can understand everything you're saying. I also went for a theater arts degree. I really loved it. We did the stage building, the stage breakdowns, and the acting, and the designing, the costume designing, the makeup. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. And
there's nothing like camaraderie that you get when you're with people and you're all working for one goal, and it's like team building. It's great.
Oh, I loved it. I was working also at the same time. I'm just glad that you sound so much like me, and I love communications also. Man, you're taking me back.
I know you were a dancer too back in the day. I read something.
I didn't want to mention that. Yes, I was. I was a dancer most of my life.
Wow.
I did it for a lot of reasons, and I had hardships as a child also. But I did it. Yeah, I did it. I had
Is it like the belly dance type?
Yes, it's that.
Oh, how cool.
Yes.
Oh, that is amazing. That is amazing. And you can take it with you wherever you go, right?
You can. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, but you never forget, right? You can
never
probably get
forget.
up there.
Great memories, yes. So you moved to L.A.,
Yes, and I moved to LA for my first time after I went to 3 different colleges.
Oh.
Now it's time to get out into the world, and I moved to LA. Wasn't very easy. Completely different world out here. But I love it.
It is.
It's very happy for me. The sun's out almost every day. The weather's great. I'd love it if it was more social. Everybody's driving in their car here.
That's true. That's true.
Nobody's walking or taking the bus or the train. But, other than that, I can't complain. I love L.A., and I pursued film because, I still did a lot of stage out here. I did some improv. I did as much theater as I could. I love theater. Of course, here is where the Hollywood. So
yes.
I've been started pursuing commercials, got a lot of commercials, and then I had my child and became a mom and took some time off and started teaching, actually. I got to substitute, and I got to work for her preschool when she was little, and then I worked early childhood. I've worked in kindergarten, so I love to work with kids too.
Oh,
I also
cool.
teach. Yeah, like when I have some time, I'll teach at the camps, the theater camps around town, or SAG. They have for young performers, and they have workshops for them, and they're always looking for volunteers and people to teach. So
cool. That's cool. Well, you know what? We're gonna take a break. We will be right back. back with Chrissy Bergeron. What an interesting life. You moved to LA and you've done a lot of theater and everything. And I read that you've done a lot of commercials and you are very pretty. I saw your pictures. You are perfect for commercials. And
thank you.
You're welcome. You have a great smile. You remind me a lot about me.
Yeah, I feel a connection to you too. And I've just met you.
Yeah, I know. So now you've been cast in the current role as Judy Potwin?
Yeah. Judy Potwin, that's a series, kind of a pilot, really. We've done 2 episodes so far. Mm-hmm. My husband, I'm playing opposite of Kevin Sorbo. If anybody knows, he used to be a Hercules a couple years back. Oh. He had a show, The Hercules. And then we have done 2 episodes so far. Mm-hmm. It's called The World According to Billy Potwin. That might change because it's a long
title.
Title, but that's the working title right now. And Barry Boswick actually plays the dad or the grandpa, and it's about a family. And it's a very intertwined family where there's 2 kids and the female woman feminist, liberal feminist, and then there's the son who's more of a conservative. And so they're probably, if you've ever seen like Family Ties in the 80s and 90s, it's a similar type family where they're a little divided and there's some controversy politically. So I think it's really good for this day and age, actually. It's a comedy, and it's funny family. And as I said, the grandpa is Barry Boswick, and he's a riot. He's played, oh my God, he's been in a lot of shows, too much. You have to look him up.
Okay.
Too many to, but it's really great working with this cast. It's amazing.
So Chrissy, who do you feel was your biggest influence in helping you become successful in doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd have to look back. My grandmother gave me a lot of love, and she inspired me, although she wasn't an artist herself. And my father, believe it or not, was, a Marine, actually, but he gave me a lot of encouragement, and he would say, you're going to be working the rest of your life. You want to do what you like. You want to be happy.
Yes.
You don't want to be a bum and not do anything, but you want to do what you want to pursue. Because, he's back in his day, he didn't have a choice. So I'm sure he would have chosen another route. And so he kind of inspired me. And actually, when he left and my parents divorced when I was 12, he would come. And when I was so brokenhearted that I couldn't dance and the family was broken up, my sister had moved in with him, and I was with my brother and my mom, and he would come pick me up, drive probably 15, 20 miles to pick me up, and then drive me and my friends all the way to the dance class on a weeknight when he had to get up for work at 6 a.m. or whatever, and drive us back. And he was very encouraging that way. Like I said, that he wasn't an artist. He didn't probably believe when I told him I was going to be an actress. He was like, oh, okay, grinding his teeth, but he accepted it, and he encouraged and inspired me. So I'd say between my grandma, my dad, and of course these amazing women I've grown up with, like along the, Mary Tyler Moore, amazing. People like Meryl Streep. I mean, these beautiful, talented, amazing, strong women I really still aspire to be.
You know that our parents didn't have the choices that we have today, and they didn't have the choices for a career or really to do their dream, and it probably was impossible for a lot of reasons, mostly probably money. And
exactly.
They just didn't have that opportunity. Sometimes along the way, things change. And
exactly. We always want our kids to have a better life than us.
Yes, we do. Especially today. We spoil them so badly because we're trying to give them what we didn't have, but then they don't appreciate it either because they didn't have to work for it or struggle.
Yeah.
So, you're kind of between a rock and a hard place.
Kids, if you're listening, you got to unplug and get out there.
That's right.
Get out there and volunteer.
You were mentioning The World According to Billy Potwin. Is that going to be on the national TV, or how's Netflix? Or now there's so so many venues.
Oh, my God. There's Voodoo and Hulu and Amazon and Google and Wushu and Lala.
And Swish.
You know, I don't know because it's kind of early in the game. Okay. Yes, what they did was they put about a 10-minute, you could probably find it on YouTube, I believe. They just did a 10-minute teaser. Yes, like a teaser. Or so when we get picked up, you'll be the first to know.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you, where can our listeners connect with you in the social media and see what you're doing, what you're up to in your life?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I started Twitter, but I just couldn't keep up with it all, you know? I got to work. I'm a mom. So I am on Facebook as Chrissy Bergeron, and I'm on Instagram as ChrissyBergeron13 because there were so many Chrissy Bergerons on Instagram. So just put the 13 and you'll find me there. And I usually update it daily or every couple of days. I have a couple of movies, actually, that are film festivals now. I produced A Work of Heart, which is about a homeless woman befriending a 12-year-old daughter. Oh. I wrote it, I produced it, directed it, put my daughter in there, and, you know, her friends are all the little... So it was fun. I've always wanted to produce, so I started producing, and ever since then I've been doing shorts. And I also have a feature, Sound of Silence, by an amazing blend. Her name is Elizabeth Lake Thompson, and it's called Sound of Silence, about a true story about the Romanian orphanages that they had in the 90s. And they were very abusive to the kids. So I played an abusive Romanian orphanage keeper.
Oh, no.
So, yes. I love doing accents, and anyway, so we have a lot. We have 808, which is in film festivals. I have Work of Heart, Sound of Silence. We have a lot of films. The Stooge was about a magician in Los Angeles. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie.
When you do your shorts and everything like that, you probably have a cameraman, a sound man, and all that good stuff, or do you do this all on your own?
You know, I don't. I can't... I want to buy my own camera, but I do mostly the production part. I'm like the most organized. Maybe it's all that business and business school. I'm very organized.
Yes.
So I'm usually the person that gets them together. You know,
cool.
Hey, I know a cameraman. Hey, I know a soundman. So you need crew. You call me. You know, call Chrissy for the crew.
All right, good deal. I have a business
called Chrissy's Crew.
Oh, that's cool. I love it. Chrissy, what advice would you give the listeners that want to get in a career of production, acting, or commercials? What would you say to someone who wants to do what you're doing?
Wow. Well, I'll say when I first started, it was so much harder. We didn't have the internet or YouTube. We had, drive into Hollywood and sit at the audition and then drive all the way back and tell yourself, I know I could have introduced myself differently and said this line that way and said that line, and then when I left, I should have never tripped and blah, 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 and I would just go through the whole thing in my head. Now they let you audition at home. Basically, you have a nice wall, never white, always like a colored wall, and you can just do it on your iPhone. And if you don't have an agent or you haven't had any content, get together with your friends, your creative friends, or anybody who has equipment or the time, and just do it. Now anybody can do it. You get on YouTube, you get the YouTube channel, and you could go viral. I mean, it really is amazing what the technology has brought so much. And I say you guys are really lucky. You do not even have to leave your house. You really don't.
No, that's true.
I mean, it's good to leave your house, and you should leave your house. But you really don't need to.
It's so true. I know. The iPhone.
And if you can do gymnastics, have your friend come over and film you in the backyard doing gymnastics. You could totally get a job, a commercial doing gymnastics. If you can sing, get up there on your YouTube and start singing away, you know. I envy people with amazing talent. When I see those dance shows, I always look back and go, God, I wish that was on when I was a dancer. I'd be on, you know.
I know. Wouldn't we?
Now they have the World of Dance.
I know.
If you think you can dance, so many shows.
I know.
It's amazing.
I know, and we can't be on it.
Yeah, I'd say get out there, have fun, get off those phones, get behind the phone instead of in front of it.
That's right.
Get off that Instagram, unless you're checking out and have fun. You know, it's summer. Get out there and just have fun and be creative. Write, direct, whatever you're good at. Do makeup. There's makeup tutorials. People, my daughter's insisting that she can make money if she has enough YouTube subscribers, so try it. Go for it.
Good. Well, very good advice. And I thank you so much for being on my show and sharing it with us and helping somebody out there that wants to do what you're doing and their dream is to be an actress or be in commercials. And that's very good. We forget that the cell phone does other things besides texting.
Oh my gosh, yes. And it's been wonderful to be a part of your show, Nadia. I can't wait to come back.
Well, thank you. You will be back. And let's just make sure, too, we tell them to go ahead and use their cell phones, but don't go near a cliff and do a selfie.
Oh, my gosh, never.
Can you believe that? Over 200 people last year died doing selfies with their cell phones.
No, you got to show your talent. You don't want to just show your face. You got to do something,
That's
show
right.
talent.
That's right.
And do your dream, whatever you dream of. You want to cook, so just bake something and have your friend videotape you. Always have a friend. You can't do everything yourself.
You can also put it on a tripod, though. Yeah, a cell phone.
Yes, but hey, if you have a friend over, then you're actually socializing
well, that's better.
Right?
That's better. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have you over, Chrissy.
Yeah, I'll come over and we'll do a scene together or dance together.
Yeah, we'll dance. We'll just be hilarious.
The Nadia Chrissy Show.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. You're a doll. I would love to have you back. And thank you for sharing your tips and your progress and your life with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And again, my last name, I know it's hard to say, but it's Bergeron. And I really appreciate you having me, Nadia. Have a beautiful night.
You too.
Or day.
Whatever.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's ChrissyBergeron. What a great delight she is. I love her spirit, her happiness, her joy. It's wonderful. Just remember what she said. Listen to this over and over. Very important to go forward with your dream. It is by choice and not by chances that we change our circumstances. And thank you for listening to the Nadia Sahari Show. And would like to ask you a question before I go. Are you living your dream? And thank you so much for joining the Nadia Sahari Show.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.